We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are live. And this morning on the Huddle, I have a question for you. Are you a live streamer, content creator, podcaster who's looking to get more views on your live stream, your live podcast? Well, this morning on the Huddle, we're going to be sharing 5 tips on helping you to get more replay views on your live streams. And we're starting right now. Praise the Lord, everyone. Welcome to the Huddle. I'm your host, Walter Strong. If you're new here and you want to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video, then we welcome you to the show. And as we said in our opening hook this morning, we're going to be talking about 5 important tips on how to get more replay views on your live stream when you end the broadcast. And so, if you're joining me this morning in the chat, if you are part of Team Live this morning, do me a favor. Let me know where you're watching me from in the chat. Let me know if you are a part of Team Live or if you're going to be checking out the replay of this video as we start live. Let me know in the comment section with a hashtag Team Replay. And already we see our good man, Mr. Ash Boland, all the way from London, Podcast Creator Hub in the house this morning. Good morning, sir. And to those of you who are just joining us, we're starting out this morning. Happy Saturday morning to you as we are now full in effect into the fall season. The summer is behind us. We are in a new season, getting ready to get into the 4th quarter of this year. So we want to share some great content as we finish the year strong. And so we are excited. So if you are in the chat this morning joining us, let us know. We are on YouTube this morning. We are on LinkedIn this morning. So whether if you're on LinkedIn or YouTube, let us know in the chat where you're watching us from. Give us the hashtag Team Live. And so without further ado, let's fire up the Stream Deck and get into this masterclass this morning on how to get more views on your live stream. And and if you're a person who doesn't do live streaming, but maybe you make short for online content that you upload, you can take some of these same principles uh, and apply them to uploaded videos. If you are a person who's starting to do shorts, just like me, and you see your first set of shorts started out the gate and you didn't see the numbers that you had hoped and imagined for, you can take some of these same principles and apply them accordingly as you start to post the content. So let's get into the master class. And so the first question that I want to ask, and I think a lot of people are asking, especially now in content creation today, what you see, with the things like shorts being so popular, but I would probably say, okay, shorts are probably number one on YouTube. But the next popular thing that you see a lot of people doing, from news stations to sports like First Take and Undisputed, and to just regular content creators like me and yourself, everyone is doing live streaming. And why is live streaming so important? With YouTube Shorts being really so popular and YouTube really pushing shorts, and then you have live streaming, and down the horizon you're going to possibly see podcasting exploding. But why is live streaming so important? Well, one, I believe, is because it provides engagement with you and your online community that you go live with. It provides the engagement that you can engage with them, engage with them where you can ask an engagement question. So I was watching um, uh, a fellow content creator this week who asked a very important engagement question that I thought was very interesting, but it was very effective. And so I'll try it right now. Those of you who are just joining us in the chat on YouTube or on LinkedIn, let me know in the chat what is your food that you hate the most, that someone, if they tried to get you to eat it, you refuse to eat it. What's that one food that you refuse to eat that you hate? Just in the chat, real quick. As we get started with this masterclass, we're talking about live streaming being so important and getting replay views, about engagement. What's the one food that you don't like? And please don't don't allow them to try to convince you to do it. Just in the chat real quick. And if you're on the replay of this, give it me your feedback on the replay. Give me your feedback. Well, as I'm waiting for your response, I'll tell you the one food that I do not like. And I used to eat it when I was a kid. It's a food from the South that my grandmother used to make every Thanksgiving, and man, I used to love it before I knew what it was. And I would get me so she would fix it with some coleslaw, and she would fix it and put some special sauce on it, and I would eat it. But then when I found out what it was, and when I found out how it smelled, I was like, never again will I eat that. And you say, well, what's that one food that you don't like, Walter? And that's chitlins. Chitlins. And as I begin to watch the response on her show, everyone putting their one food that they hate, which was, one person put chopped liver, one person put fish, another put sardines. The engagement from the audience was just so overwhelming just by that simple engagement question. Another engagement question we do ask towards the end of the show is asking you what your win for the week. So live streaming provides engagement. It also allows you to be able to answer questions from your viewers, asking specific questions that they may have, putting content around those specific questions, and making it interactive through a Q&A session. And then most importantly, it helps you to build community. Helps you to build community, not just with you and your audience, but community with those in the chat. So those are just 3 reasons why live streaming is so important. But then when you end the broadcast, you have another piece of content now that becomes the replay video. And it's like a second piece of content that you want to get views on. So how do you get more views on that second piece of content that you spent time putting together, putting your run of show together, and you putting together your best work, and you want to see it do well. You really want to see that video do well on YouTube and be well received by the viewers who watch it. Well, the first tip that I found that's been very effective is making repurposed content, taking that live stream and repurposing it, because we are living in a day and age where people's attention spans, unfortunately, is getting shorter and shorter. Let's just call it for what it is. We're not trying to insult anyone, but a person who doesn't know me and you and are not familiar with our content, if they are scrolling and searching in the YouTube bar or on the homepage of YouTube, and they say one piece of content that's about 5 to 10 minutes long, and then you have a live stream that's on that same piece of content, and maybe it's 30 to 40 minutes long, that's going to be a big ask of that new viewer to watch your replay video from your live stream. So it's important to take that content that you did from that broadcast that you ended and to repurpose it into, shorter form videos, shorter clips. YouTube has the ability for us to make clips off our live streams. You can even turn them into shorts, if you will. And so making shorter form content that is not as long to help you to be able to get more replay views. And so you can then take those shorter form pieces of content. Okay, we're back. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we're back. I saw that little blip right quick and I said, yo, who messing with my live stream? Yo, StreamYard, let's get it together. I'm hardwired into my computer. The devil is a liar. So where did we leave off at? We were talking about repurposing content, turning it into short form content so viewers can watch your replay video by you putting a link into that short form video or that clip that ties back to your replay video. So that was, the first point of tip number one. Want to say also good morning to my dear sister Equip Institute, who is joining me this morning. Hey, good morning. Good morning. I'm glad to hear that you are still here with us. Those of you who are part of Team Live, thanks for hanging in there. This is going to be a great live stream. We typically don't have a lot of technical issues with our streams. We've been fortunate. We've been blessed. So this is definitely going to be a great live stream. So let's buckle up. Let's lean in, get you a pen and a pad. We're going to enjoy this live stream. This is definitely going to be good. So the other tip we want to talk about was making micro content. Making micro content, maybe you have 3 to 5 bullet points in your live streams, and you take each one of those bullet points and transform them into another piece of content. And again, put in the description section all the important metadata, but put that link to that original live stream into the description section so that you can then push them back to that. You can then make end screens, and in one of your end screens, put the live stream on the end screen. On the info card, you can link the replay of the video on the info card. So you're taking your micro content and you're taking that and then pointing it back to the original replay. And then also you can repurpose it by making a podcast, taking the audio from your live stream, transforming it into a podcast for your podcast viewers. But again, in your description section, you can put the link in there and people can be able to go right back to the original broadcast of the live stream. And that's going to help you to get more replay views. And so you're not just making a piece of content one time and then going to the next piece of content, going live the next week. And so it allows you to be able to get the most. And these are just 3 suggestions. You could probably make a blog post. You could probably do a static clip. You can do. There's so much you can do with repurposing your content. And so we're going to definitely talk about that later. I'm going to show you some things. So hang in there with me as we kind of go over our analytics for the year on just some of the live streams that we did. So you can just see in my analytics. I'm just not going to give you a presentation, but hang in at towards the end. We're going to show you some of the analytics, some of the behind the scenes of how we've been seeing these things that we're talking about, how they're working. Tip number two is using YouTube chapters. I think part of the reason sometimes that we as content creators don't appreciate the value in using YouTube chapters, and I'm going to say it first here on the Huddle. And if I step on your toe, no, I'm stepping on it in love, okay? Because I had to step on my own toe. I think one reason why people don't take advantage of the benefit of YouTube chapters is because the simple fact is they think the mindset, the attitude is that's too much work. I'm already doing enough. That's too much work for me to have to do another thing. And they don't use YouTube chapters, and they're not seeing the benefit out of it and getting more replay views. The other thing I believe is they're just being lazy. Now you say, Walter, how could you say that? How could you say that? How could you call someone lazy? You just said Wednesday you are an elder of your church. On the live stream that you did for live stream Bible studies. If you missed that, check that out. Great live stream. I mean, that I'm just watching the replays views on that one, and it's just. But you say, how could you say that? Because I was being lazy myself. Wasn't doing it. Wasn't using YouTube chapters. I had that mindset that that's too much work and I got to do another step. I got to make more content because I need more views. I need more subscribers. And I'm making content after content, but not putting any YouTube chapters to them. And I'm getting the same results that I'm not happy with. And I had the wrong mindset of it's too much work and I was being lazy. What made me change my mind on YouTube chapters was when I had a guest on the show, and that's probably the last time I had some serious technical issues, and I didn't follow my YouTube checklist like I was supposed to. Excuse me. And as a result, I had forgot that my power cord was not plugged into my laptop, and as a result, I lost power on my laptop, and the battery died, and as a result, I went off the air on the stream, and as a result, the guests, that person kind of panicked, didn't know what was going on. They stayed on for a while, and then they left. And then it kind of really shook me because I was like, wow, I put all this work and effort in. How could this happen to me? And blah blah blah. And so one of the fellow Huddle community individuals, Ash, had said to me, he said, do you use YouTube chapters? He says, you can take YouTube chapters, chapter each of the points that you did. And then when the point that the live stream interrupted, you can then just put the next chapter to take them to when you came back on. And from there, it seems like when I started doing that, I started seeing all these replay views coming on all my other future live streams that I started to do. YouTube chapters began to help me to see that it was helping viewer engagement and experience for viewers to say, okay, maybe I won't watch the entire live stream and and then watch the entire live stream, but I can watch bits and pieces of it over time. And then when I have the time ready to do it, I'll make the commitment and watch the rest of the live stream. So it helped with viewer engagement, helped me to get found more in search, because when you start to put YouTube chapters, it helps you getting, found more in search on Google and on YouTube, because Google is the number one search engine and YouTube is the second search engine, popular search engine. And so it's helping my live streams to get found in search. And then number 3, it's about how you title your YouTube chapters, how you title them so you can get additional views. You don't title the chapters and say title 1, title 2, title 3, or episode 1, or point 1 or point 2. You got to optimize the chapters the same way you optimize your title and your description for your YouTube video. This video is how to get more replay views on your live stream. So the same way you kind of optimize it and title it correctly with a compelling title, you do the chapter the same way, which will result in additional views. And so you want to be able to repurpose your content. You want to be able to use YouTube chapters effectively. Before we get into the next point, I see a couple of points being made in the chat by our good man Ash. He says, first of all, told you. I wish I could put this up in bold. I'm gonna have to ask StreamYard to say, how can we make comments in bold on your live stream? Told you about that Bible one. Yes, you did, sir. You did. Thank you, sir. And that's what we learn from one another. in part of the community. And then we also got to say good morning to our dear sister. Uh, yeah, I did you. You got your moment of fame there. Say good morning to our dear sister, Leona, joining us this morning. Good morning, my sister. And then we have another one. Ah, you're too kind. You're too kind. Just want to make sure we get all these comments pulled up here. Boom, the huddle is on fire. Yes. Uh, let the fire marshal know over here in North Babylon, New York, that no, it's just the live stream. No one pulled the fire alarm, so we don't need the fire trucks outside this morning. But using chapters, you're repurposing your content, it's going to get you more replay views. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this live stream this morning, as our sister said, the huddle this morning is on fire. No, we didn't pull the fire alarm. It's not the smoke detector. So don't call the fire marshal to come knocking on the door because the live stream is that good. But if you're getting great value out of it, smash the like button, click the thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform. Tip number 3, let's talk about countdown timers. And I had to kind of do my homework on this one because I don't use countdown timers. I just use a brief intro. We get into the show, get into the opening hook, get into the content because we appreciate the replay viewer. But had to do my homework on the countdown timer because this one is kind of a sticky conversation. It's one side. It's one view of it says use countdown timers. Another view says don't use countdown timers. And so I had to kind of listen. I went to an expert, Laura Bertucci from Live Streaming Pro. I seen how she had a lot of videos on countdown timers. And so some of the points she made about countdown timers is when notifications go out for our live streams, they don't go out all at once to everyone. YouTube kind of sends them out a little at a time. As I kind of noticed, Ash was first here, and then Equip Institute, Miss Leona, and others will join. So I'm noticing the notifications kind of go out as they go. Now, I notice also what YouTube is doing is when you see a live stream get scheduled, one of the things they encourage you to do is to, if you want to be notified, to click the notification button below the video. And then when we go live, you're going to get the notification. But what Laura Bertucci was saying, that sometimes when we finally go live, that the notification doesn't just happen instant when the person goes live. Second point she talked about was sometimes it takes time for your viewers to join your live stream. And you may take maybe 5 to 10 minutes into your live stream before the whole team live crew all comes in. And so you may want to use a countdown timer, where some people will use a countdown timer between 2 to 5 minutes. She talked about in some cases where individuals may even use a countdown timer for 10 minutes. But here's where I think countdown timers can hurt the replay value and getting replay views. If a person is new to your live stream and they saw, my putting a particular topic on search on, I'll take one of Ash's popular little live streams that he did earlier this year was, how did podcasting change his life? Well, to me, I tell you, as I'm on my homepage, that was one of the first things that YouTube had recommended to me. And I was like, okay, I want to hear this. How did podcasting help change this guy's life? And I know he's very, has a great podcast over in England, and it ranks in the top 10. So let me hear his story. And I'm quite sure I wasn't the only one, as YouTube was sharing this. But when I started to watch his live stream, if I'm a new person, if he'd had a countdown timer, chances is if that countdown timer is anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes, I'm not going to stick around. I'm not. Because that's taking too much of an ask of my time to wait for him to get into the countdown to the content. So we got to think about countdown timers, and from the new viewer standpoint, are they willing to stick around? 2, you got to think about your current audience that you have, how the majority of them may feel about countdown timers. Countdown timers may just be way too long. As a good man, Mamba mentality, James Hicks, who's a part of Team Live, says they're just extremely too long, and they can definitely hurt the countdown timer. And he goes on to say, let me take these other glasses off. Got a multiple. It says it's a disrespect to the audience. Oh, I like this one. Oh my goodness. It's a disrespect to the audience, and that the audience that arrives to your stream on time. Man, damn. See, I want to pick the mic back up, but he just turned around and dropped the mic. So now I'm gonna have to be like Thor trying to pick up Mjolnir, seeing if I'm worthy to pick up this mic that he just dropped. Want to say good morning to my man Sammy, the superstar. So we definitely don't want to disrespect our viewers that show up on time. And then, quite frankly, if you are going to be a person who wants to do your replay, I like some, there's some good replay some countdown timers that I've heard with some good music that kind of gets you dancing in your seat. So I see that the only benefit from it is to the viewers who like it. But you got to take in consideration, as James says, it can be a disrespect to the other ones who are on time. Man, drop the mic like Thor's hammer, and now I'm wondering if I'm worthy to pick it back up. Tip number 4, got to promote your replay. After you've ended the broadcast and you've had a great live stream, you got to promote it. You got to take the time and go into YouTube and hit that, just like the same way you ask your live viewers to hit the share button. You got to share it yourself. Share it on the social media platforms where there is an audience that would want to watch your piece of content. You got to share it. And on that, share it on the right social medias. Don't just share it on every social media platform. If you ain't on Twitter and you ain't tweeting, don't share it on Twitter. If you ain't ticking and a talking like you Soul Sonic Force from back in the day, don't share it on TikTok. Share it on the appropriate social media platforms. Hey, take advantage of an email list. Get yourself an email list. And that's definitely something we're going to, in 2023, we're going to definitely press into an email list as we build this Huddle community. Pressing and sharing your replays through your email list, because when Metaverse and Facebook decides to act a little funny on you, you can definitely have an email list to promote it. Love you smashing on those shorts. Thank you, sir. Hey, it's a work in progress. I kind of felt like when I did my shorts this past week on the Huddle, it was like doing my first pieces of content all over again. But I'm excited for these next group of shorts that I just did. I definitely gonna stick with it for sure and add it for sure on the content. So promote your replays. Don't just sit there and make another great piece of content and just move on to the next. You say, how can you say that? Because I did it myself. Didn't do any promoting, didn't do any sharing, just kept on doing it because I was only focused on getting subscribers. And as a result, just had no insight to really get the most out of the content that I just produced. And so now I look at some of the content that I've made over the last 2 years. Definitely the opportunity now is going to come to redo that content, but it's a learning curve. And so you definitely learn from your mistakes. Hey, if you're getting great value out of this live stream this morning, whether if you're on YouTube or if you're checking this out on LinkedIn, do me a favor, click the like button. LinkedIn gives you the ability to click the thumbs up. It allows you to even celebrate. So click the like button on YouTube. Give us a hashtag Team Live on LinkedIn and on YouTube. Smash that like button, share it on your favorite social media platform. And if you haven't subscribed to the Huddle and you want to broaden your reach, your impact, and income through online video and be a part of the greatest Huddle community of content creators on this God's green earth, subscribe to the channel. Tip number 5. And after tip number 5, like I said, I have a bonus tip for you. I want to take you behind the scenes on some of my analytics and, just not talk about these tips, but let you kind of see over the last year how this has really been showing up in the replays of the live streams. And before we do that, understand that YouTube is a marathon. It's not a sprint. The replay views are not just going to pop up in 24 to 48 to 72 hours. There are some videos that do take off and explode, and then they slow down and you move on to the next piece of content because you don't think, okay, well, man, I thought that video was going to be good, but I guess it wasn't as good as I thought it was. But YouTube is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So not every piece of content, when the replay views start to pop in, are going to just explode on the scene. And then there you may have that one video that does explode on the scene, and the replay views just come from everywhere. But it's important to have the right mindset that YouTube is not a sprint. It's a marathon. Mr. Sammy, the superstar, has a comment here. So I want to see what we got here. We'll just digress right here. Boom. Let's just put these to the side. Okay. Here is what I do when using countdown timers. Okay. All right. Kind of giving you feedback on the use of countdown timers. And you can, trim down or remove the countdown timer as well. So I hear that point that you're saying. But I also kind of agree with James. You have to kind of know your audience. And if majority of your audience kind of feels that that's disrespectful, you can, live streams I've seen from the best, like Nick Nimmy, you can get a ton of subscribers and views on live streams, but then you can have a ton of subscribers unsubscribe. And then it can be something as simple as the countdown timer that can result in those loss in those subscribers. But I hear the point that you're definitely making there, Sammy. But you want to understand that YouTube is a marathon. You got to optimize your live stream, optimize that replay video from the title to the description to the thumbnail, using relevant tags, again, using chapters, and then just being consistent with what you're doing. If you're making great content, rather if it's through live streaming or uploaded videos, and I would definitely see if you want to check out someone that is just really consistent, all within the Huddle community. Ash is consistent, Miss Leota is consistent, Sammy's consistent, James is consistent. Those of you who are checking this out on the replay, I know you are consistent, but you want to stay consistent, and the views are going to come. The views are definitely going to come. So let's get into the summary. And then I want to take you behind the scenes and just kind of show you some of these things that I've seen in my replay views on some of the stuff that we talked about. So we talked about repurposing your content. We talked about using YouTube chapters. We talked about countdown timers. We talked about promoting your replay and understanding that YouTube is not a sprint. It's a marathon. So what I'm going to do right now is let me know in the chat if you see this. Okay, did I stop sharing my screen? Did I stop screen? Yeah, I think I stopped sharing my screen. So let me pull this back up. Pull this back up. Oh, we're gonna start all over. Okay. Let me share my screen all over. I think that's what I did. If you guys are getting great value out of this as I'm pulling this up, do me a favor, give me a hashtag team value or team live or great value in the chat section. This should be pulling up in a few seconds. I don't know what I did there, but we're gonna get this up. Okay. Okay, boom, got it up. So what we're looking at is my YouTube analytics page. It's kind of showing you my top 10 videos that I've made for my live streams. A large percentage of my videos that I make do come from my live streams. And now that I'm starting to do YouTube shorts, I'm quite sure my analytics is going to start to adjust based on the shorts. So this is what I've did in the last 28 days. And yes, I want to give a shout out to Mr. Ash Bolin on that piece of pro content tip that he gave in the Huddle community about, doing a live stream that's going to help individuals who are part of faith-based organizations, churches who want to learn how to live stream their services and be able to reach their online congregation and viewers. And so I did that video this past Wednesday. And I think when the live was over, I had about 50 views, a total of 50 people who watched the live stream. One of them that was in the audience was our dear sister, Equip Institute, who checked out. So I've kind of watched over the last couple of days from Wednesday. Right now, it's about at 532. So we've gotten over a little over close to 480 replay views on this topic in just a couple of days here. It's starting to get some traction. It's picking up. Another video that we did, a couple of live stream videos we did a couple of weeks ago was with our guest, Miss Lenita Hostin. We talked about how to live stream with excellence. That one, when I ended the broadcast, had about 20 to 30 views according to YouTube. So right now the replay views is at about 469. But I want you to take note of these two videos. Repurpose Your Content with Dr. Elo, not Dr. Dre, but the ELO, and our dear auntie, who we did Sharing Your Passion. And so the one that I did with our dear auntie, I did that back on Women's Month in March. So in the last 28 days, this one has gotten over about 318 views. And the one that I did with Dr. Elo, I did that one probably, I want to say April, I believe. In the last 28 days, that one has gotten 347 replay views. Okay. If I need to make this bigger, let me make this bigger right quick. Let's make this a little bigger. How do I make this a little bigger here? Let's do this. Okay. I'll figure that out later. So it's kind of showing you the last 28 days. So now let's go to 90 days. Let's go to 90 days. And if this is, relevant to you and you're getting some value out of this, give me a hashtag great value, hashtag great value. So now I'm at 90 days. And in the last 90 days, look at Dr. Elo's interview. He now, in the last 90 days, I've gotten 550 views. So if I need another great piece of content to make as a result of this getting these replay views, doing either like I did a short on repurposing your content, or and I'm really thinking about getting back into doing uploaded videos. But if I did an uploaded video or another live stream, definitely bringing Dr. Elo back, or just the topic itself is YouTube is pushing it. The other thing I want you to know is on all my titles, I always how to. I'm a believer in how to, wanting to answer a specific question, to be able to have a video that a person is going to look into search and say how to. And so as a result, I've gotten 550 views. Then going back to Ash's point, it's important as live streamers, as content creators, that we listen to our communities that we are part of. It's important to listen to our viewers because sometimes the answer that you need is not always in starting another channel. The answer that you need is not always in rebranding yourself and now going into another direction of just making a complete different set of content that what you started at. Sometimes the answer is just listening to the community and the suggestions. And so, he talked about the faith-based content and live streaming. So I made it. And on Wednesday, it as a result, there's 532. Let's go back down to our auntie, um, 432 in 90 days. So you can see here how replay views are gaining over time. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. The other thing that I'm noticing is with my average view duration, where these replay views are coming from. I think it's important to understand where your replay views coming from. Not a lot of these replay views are coming from my audience. As I really got into my analytics, because I saw in the average view duration of how long these videos were being watched. And so, though I'm appreciative that I'm getting the replay views, it means I got to do more work on making better content that the algorithm feels is right, and they will get it in from the get it in front of the right audience. As much as I want my videos and my live streams to get in front of the audience, ultimately the algorithm plays a part in this. And so I have to keep working on perfecting my content, continuing to listen to the audience, continue to listen to the community, so that ultimately I can make better content that gets me more replay views and that causes the average view duration to go up more instead of being low as it is. So that's important. And then finally, I want to go to 365 days. 365 days in terms of replay. Now, you may have a video that you did and you may say, man, this video that I did, I didn't think this was one of my best ones. And I don't think this was good. This one just things just, there was technical issues. We started late, just seemed like we didn't get the flow. And that one video that you think that wasn't all that good, and no reflection on if you had a guest, no reflection on the guest. It's just maybe you just didn't feel like you were on your game. And then a year later, you see that you got over 3,500 views from replays on this thing, still getting views. So you have to take that in consideration, that YouTube is not a sprint, but a marathon. Let's go back to Dr. Elo's video. Dr. Elo now, over a year, is now at 924. Look at our auntie Denise at 786. And here's one for Mr. Ash Bolin. And when we, again, listening to your audience and your community. And when I remember when he challenged me one time, he says, Walter, I want you to hear my heart. When I come and I watch you every Saturday, it's you I come to watch. I don't come to watch your guests. I come to watch you. I said, okay, thank you. When am I going to start seeing content that's just you by yourself? And I said, I don't know. And the point he was making was, and he was very bold about it, and he just said, sometimes I feel like you use guests as a crutch. I believe your best content is yet to be made, because when you make it, it's going to be by yourself. So I can look over a year, and that's the one that says, when we talked about when Ash did his video on how live streaming, how podcasting changed his life, I said, I like that. And so I watched it and I said, okay, what am I passionate about? What has really impacted my life in online content creation? And I said, live streaming. So I made a live stream on how live streaming changed my life. And that one's a little over close to almost 700 views. So doesn't have the big numbers that, okay, with Auntie Denise and Dr. Elo and JP High Tech, but it shows me there that was a pivotal moment in my content creation, and the replay views are coming in. And so I wanted to share this data, this behind the scenes, that when we talk about these tips with you, You should, after 90 days, a year from now, be able to see the replay views, whether if it's on live streaming, whether if it's uploaded videos or shorts. You should be able to see these tips you put into practice through your analytics. So I just wanted to share that with the community. If you are getting great value out of this live stream this morning, we're talking about 5 tips on how to get more replay views on your live streams after the broadcast is ended. Hey, smash the like button, click the thumbs up, share this on your favorite social media platform. Any questions in the chat, please put them in. Any comments, anything that you want me to go back over, any points you want me to touch back on, please put them in the chat for me. If you're on YouTube, on LinkedIn, any questions or comments, would love to get your feedback on this. I appreciate Sammy's feedback in terms of how he deals with countdown timers. Definitely important as well. But love to get your feedback. Any questions, any comments? So as we wait for those to come in, would also like to know what has been your win for the week. What has been your win for the week? Would love to get your wins for the week in the chat so we can share them with the community, with your community. Definitely like to get your feedback on it. Just want to again acknowledge anyone that I may have missed in the chat while we're waiting. Yeah, this is good. This is definitely good. I'm so glad to see my man, the Mamba Mentality, Mr. James Hicks, joining us this morning. Sammy joining us. Yes, definitely. Well, while we're waiting, okay, if there's no questions or comments, I definitely, one big win for the week is, as Ash has said, starting to make YouTube shorts. It kind of felt like I was making online videos for the first time all over again. And it was interesting me thinking, okay, how can I make these videos in 30 seconds? I'm trying to keep my shorts at least 30 seconds, because 15 to 30 seconds from what I've been researching seems to be the sweet spot for people, to watch your shorts. And so that's what I've really been working on. Win from the week for my dear sister, Equip Institute. Boom, boom, boom. She said scheduled tech rehearsal for the first live stream, which I think the date is, we are basically 6 days from the debut of our dear sister's first live stream. 6 days. Now, you talk about a countdown timer. Sammy, I may need to hook up with you so I can get me a countdown timer to celebrate the debut of our sister's first live stream. Now, that's a countdown timer. Any other wins for the week? Making YouTube shorts, her getting ready for her live stream. Definitely, that's exciting. Any other wins for the week? Definitely would like to get your feedback. Any other wins for the week? I asked this engagement question earlier. Those that you have not been here earlier, a part of Team Live, and if you are checking out the replay up to this point, the team replay, the crew, the posse, the online squad, let me ask this engagement question to you guys that are in the chat listening, whether if you're just listening while you're doing at work or in the gym or just walking the dog outside. Let me ask this engagement question from you. What's the one food that you hate the most, that you refuse to let anyone get you to eat? What's the one food that you hate eating? Love to get your feedback. Equip Institute, Miss Leona, Sammy, James, Ash, what's the one food that you don't like at all? For me, it's chitlins. I do not like eating chitlins. I don't like the smell of them. I don't like the way they look. And when I was young as a kid, I used to eat them. But then when someone educated me on what they were, I was like, I'm done. Just not the simple fact that I don't got this graphic image in my mind of what they're supposed to be, and knowing how they smell terrible. when my grandma on Thanksgiving tried to put a plate of chitlins, some chitlins on my Thanksgiving plate, I was, nah, grandma, I'm good. I'm good, grandma. I'm good. So chitlins, I will not. But I would be interested to know, what is the one food that you guys don't like eating? Put it in the chat for me before we go ahead and bring this to a close. If you may, would love to get your feedback. And there's a method, and reason why I'm asking this question, if you don't mind sharing, if you don't mind sharing, if not, but I think engagement questions are important to ask your audience um, to boost engagement and to better connect with your audience. So if you're a person who's struggling with doing a live streaming, our dear sister Equip, as you start to do your first couple of live streams, you may have a few numbers in the live streams where the numbers at times may be very low. It may just be me, it may just be Miss Leona, it may just be Ash, it may just be me, it may be just a day where it may be none of us. But just know, um, all the things that we shared on the huddle, as you put them into practice, as you continue to just be consistent, um, you will those disciplines will bear you out to where you'll start to see your live streams really take off in those moments when there's no one else. It's just a practice rehearsal. Our dear sister Equip Institute says she don't like steak. I mean, you don't like steak? Oh, man, I love me some steak. Man, give me a prime rib, well done. I can't deal with medium rare. I can't. No, I can't be dealing with no medium. I need my steak cooked, but steak, okay, understand. Understand. I don't like chitlins and you don't like steak. I hear you on that one. Anybody else before we bring this to a close? We don't want to leave anyone out to participate. Any other wins of the week that you may want to share? We'll give you an opportunity. Next Wednesday, we are going to continue on our live stream series on helping churches how to live stream more effectively and to grow their online viewership with their members and people that are outside their congregation. So we're going to be talking about how to live stream, how a church can live stream their services with StreamYard. So we're going to be talking about that as well. Any other comments here? Let me see here. Let me see. This has definitely been good. This has been good. Perfect. Definitely has been so beneficial. I appreciate that. Appreciate you learning. Appreciate that you feel this is definitely adding value. I'm starting to check out some of your live streams, and I'm like, man, I'm honored just to have you on, and I really appreciate you and Auntie Denise humility, that you're willing to learn from one another. We can learn from one another. We don't get caught up in our numbers. And, because sometimes an individual could say, well, yeah, your content is good, but your numbers ain't all that good. And I just say to them and say, don't let the numbers fool you. Sometimes the greatest gifts that you will find will be in individuals that you think they can add value, and then you miss out on something good, and they'll catch up over time. So I really appreciate you, Miss Leona, always coming, checking us out after you did your live stream as well. She said, sorry, prime rib. Okay, I got you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, I want to thank you all for checking out the huddle this afternoon. I appreciate you, Miss Leona, and others letting me know that this live stream has definitely added value to you. And so we are just excited in the direction that we're going in. And if you hadn't had a chance yet, check out some of the YouTube shorts that we uploaded this past week. If you are an individual who really struggling with learning how to go live, how to schedule your live stream, or why live streaming is so important, check out some of my latest YouTube shorts, and we'll, no more than 30 to 40 seconds, answer that question for you, and we'll be respectful of your time. So I want to appreciate you all checking this out and checking out some of those shorts that, and we got some more coming. We definitely got some more coming. Felt like definitely that these next set of shorts are definitely getting better, and we haven't even touched the ceiling yet. So we're excited. So with that said, we close out with our favorite verse, that is Bible verse that is found in Proverbs 19 and 21. If you say this quote every week, but where in the Bible is it found? It's in Proverbs 19, verse 21. And it simply says, and it's the New International Version. It comes from the New International Version. And it simply says, many are the plans in a person's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that will prevail in your life. Make a quality decision today and let God's purpose prevail in your life. We see you on Wednesday at 6 p.m. for the midweek huddle. God bless everyone. Have a great Saturday.